Hey everybody, welcome back. We're in a new part of the house today for what I am very excited to do, which is a little game. We've taken some of my favorite books over the last 2 years, and my friend Brandy, we're going to call her producer Brandy, she went and found 1-star reviews for these books, and I don't know which goes to which, and I'm going to read them. I have a little bin of 1-star reviews, and I'm going to see if I can match the 1-star review to the book. Brandy might come over and do a voiceover. If you've ever seen Good Mythical Morning, she's going to channel her inner Stevie. And yeah, we're just going to have a good time. She made me this very nice little cheat sheet with the number of books, the number of reviews, and we thought it'd be a little bit more fun if different books had different number of reviews. So there are 2 books that don't have any 1-star reviews. They're just amazing books. I mean, I think so, but I'm sure someone wasn't a fan. And then there are some books that have multiple reviews. And we're just gonna go with the flow. And hi, Hades. You're not supposed to be on here. What are you doing? I don't know where I left off before Hades jumped up on the table and knocked some books over. But yeah, we're just going to have a good time. We're going to try and use my little cheat sheet to help me out and jump into these 1-star book reviews of some of TikTok's favorite books and just some of my personal favorite books over the last 2 years. Let's get to it. Okay, review number 1. The characters were very one-dimensional. Every problem had a quick solution. It felt like 80% of it was just reading about logistics. I think the readers would have liked to see more alien sex. Okay, interesting, because the sex does rule out at least a couple of these books. I'm going to start by putting this. I'm going to just leave it in front of both of Andy's books for right now because it is very logistical, which I very much enjoyed. And there is actually no sex in either of these books. It's not spicy at all, but it's super interesting. But I'm not going to make my final decision on which one it is yet. Romance Review Book Club pick number 1. We averaged a 1.5 stars. Oh no. In a few different categories like swoon level, writing quality, and cringelessness. Easily the worst book I've ever read, but at least it was fun, I guess. Okay. It's a romance book. Brandy also set up the books, so in the comments be like, go Brandy, I think she did a lovely job. Oh man, I guess I'm gonna go with Joe Segura just because Temple of Swoon. Swoon is in this review. I don't know if that's actually right, but that's what I'm gonna vibe with. Literary fast fashion, fast fantasy. So the people rating this 5 stars, get well soon. Whatever you're going through can't be easy. Anyway, I'm extremely happy I hate read this on my library app instead of paying real green US dollars for a book that was so obviously rushed by everyone involved. I think this is going to be one of the Rebecca books because I know a very common critique of her fantasy novels is that this really buys in to fast fashion in the literary world, like this review says. I personally don't think that's always a bad thing as long as you know what you're getting into. When I reviewed these 3 books, I fully was like, I didn't know how I was going to feel because they were so hyped up. And I just let myself get into the world. So for me, it was really good. But I feel like there were a lot of people who didn't enjoy it, which is totally fine. I'm going to say that this one is for Iron Flame, because a lot of people have said that this one was rushed, and of the 3 that I've read, it was my least favorite. This book was very mediocre. There were plenty of things I strongly disagreed with or disliked. Only 2 things kept me from giving up on this book. 1, I'm not a quitter. And 2, the hope that it gets better. They also list out like some of their dislikes and some of their likes. Brandy was pretty cool. She blocked out anything that would potentially give it away. So this is redacted information for me anyways. I think I'm going to go with Check and Mate. Despite being incredibly witty and boasting a strong tone, the woke life view of the protagonist and the author are so appalling that it became ruinous. I misspoke. It says it becomes ruinous. Not only is supporting this worldview a detriment to society, but the repeated inability to take responsibility for her own actions or even acknowledge that she is the cause of them is too painful to bear. Someone is being unbearable. Unbearable. I think that this is going to be Dead Tired. Because some people might describe some of the characters as woke, which I disagree with. I think they are awesome. This one, I glimpsed it and I've already chuckled. 1 star, because I'd rather go through an open heart surgery without anesthesia rather than read another book written by Redacted. I think it's also very adorable because the word because is just BCS, but without is fully spelled out. And if I'm going to do abbreviations, I'm also just going to do like WO. That's my own. That's my 1-star review of this 1-star review. JK, I would probably give this like a 2 stars because I did laugh. It was kind of funny. This is giving an Abby book. I feel like some people don't like her. And her books, of the ones that I've read, are all with doctors. So open heart surgery, I don't know. It's just the vibes. This book was not good. This feels like it was written by a preteen. It lacks beautiful sentences, interesting, believable characters, and a gripping plot development. The dialogue is brutal, both that between characters and those side quibs from narrator to reader. That'll be a good hint, I think. The one redeeming quality is the presence of a few moments of engaging scientific imagination and reasonable explanation. The setting has some interesting things going for it, explained plausibly and clearly. Unfortunately, these strong points do not make the story good. Reading this book feels like playing an RPG where there is exactly one possible action at any given moment. At least it is a very easy read. I think this helped a lot. I think that this is Artemis. And that makes me think that The Martian was the one that I first read. So that's what we're going to go with. Okay, we have a little bit of a long one. What a dumpster fire of a book. I never gave a crap about her passion project to save the environment. The biggest drawback in this book, besides literally every single thing about it, was the modern language used. I feel like this will date the book horribly, but reading Go to Horny Jail, That's My Woman, and Basic was enough. There's a curse word, and I decided not to say it. Was enough to make me want to toss this in the trash. I clocked the female main character's issue with blank immediately and was upset that I had to wait 300 pages for anyone to have a bright idea. I seriously contemplated DNFing this book 3 times, but I'm not a quitter. When I hate a book, I want to accurately tear it to shreds. I feel bad for every Rilo lover who suffered through this. Let's start a support group. You're not alone. As someone who also struggles to not DNF a book. I do understand wanting to finish it. However, if you hate it that badly, maybe do DNF it and still write the review. You can still write a review for a book and tear it to shreds, even if you don't finish it. Maybe give yourself that grace if that's how you're feeling. But if you want to hate read something, that's totally acceptable too. Okay, I have a couple ideas for this. Nike is trying to be a camera girl, so she keeps stepping on. I have you guys propped up on a couple of cardboard boxes. Anyways, I'm initially going towards Allie Hazelwood because it is very well known that most of her books have like some base in Rilo. She likes a man the size of a refrigerator, a dainty little women. But I think the passion project to save the environment was also kind of giving Temple of Swoon for me. I think I'm going to leave it with Bride for right now, but I might switch that up. I should have stopped reading after the MC made a chicken explode. What a waste of time. Okay, I know this one. I 100% know this one because I died laughing at this scene. I thought it was great. I was alarmed, I think rightfully so, that a chicken exploded, but I also think it adds to the main character's charm. She didn't mean to make the chicken explode, guys. She was trying to send it home. This is A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon. I am 100% sure on this. 100% sure. I'm sorry. I don't know who wrote any of these. Producer Brandy, pulled everything. We didn't want to know anyone's names or any of that. We just wanted to have a fun day where we rip the books that I really like to shreds. We're just putting me through a little bit of torture of trying not to defend some of my favorite books. Redacted wrote a dystopian novel about revolution and resistance against injustice, but I don't think she truly knows what it means. That means the author's a woman. That eliminates only 2 books. I think this is Sunrise on the Reaping. I hope this book is a massive flop and everyone who rated it 5 stars starts throwing up and crying of disappointment and then realize they have nothing more to live for. They will eat Cheez-Its in their pantry whilst I swear this is whilst lying on the floor, screaming, praying to blank. That is all. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Oh man, I actually have quite a bit to live for. I do like Cheez-Its. I think they're an underrated snack. I don't keep them in the house because I will just destroy a box. Wow. On top of that, this tells me nothing about the book. Why didn't you like it? I don't know. I do know that this book has 2 reviews. She gave me a little hint. So if they have more than 1 review, it says 1 of blank, like 1 of 2. Whoa. I'm going to go with Rebecca again. It's going to be one of the Rebeccas because people feel very passionately about hating her books. If that's what you're passionate about, I don't think it affects Rebecca. I think she's doing okay. I keep making faces because like I'll glance down and like my heart rate increases because I don't want to offend anybody. Let's get to it. I'm all for banning books if this is the only one. Wouldn't wish this atrocity on my worst enemy. It genuinely makes me want to never pick up another book ever again. Who hurt you? Which book hurt you? Again, this tells me nothing. Nothing about the book. Why did it hurt you? Can you Tell me why it hurt you. I recently heard that negative book reviews are normally more thorough because they'll tell you why they don't like the book, whereas positive book reviews, it's sometimes harder to write because you're just like, I just really liked the book and I want everyone else to enjoy it as well. This falls into positive category. You've told me nothing except for your hatred for this book.
Producer Brandy here. I would 100% agree with your statement, though. The amount of thorough reviews that were like pages long in the 1-star reviews, crazy. So I really enjoyed finding the ones that gave absolutely zero details because they were the funnier ones.
She wanted to make this hard for me, and I love her for it. Okay. Which of one of my favorite books from the past 2 years did someone hate enough that they wouldn't even wish this upon their worst enemy? I'm just going to do one that I haven't done before, and I'm going to do a scandal at Stonecliff. And I'm free. Worst experience of my life. Oh my gosh, this book was so bad. Do you think this book was bad, Hades? You're not allowed to be on the table, little boy.
Excuse me, Mr. Co-host.
He says, all right, bye. Y'all are some liars, because why does this book have a 4-star rating? The literary reads as I misread this. This literally reads as a Wattpad fanfic written by a 12-year-old. Like, there is no way that blank wrote this garbage. I couldn't even tell you what the plot was because this book was so boring and so unappealing. I didn't care for the characters at all, and it didn't help that the world building was terrible. I substituted out a bad word. Producer Brandy believes that I can swear in this video because we're a tiny channel, but I'm not comfortable with it, so we're gonna try not to swear, which made this book more confusing to follow. There's a redacted part, and when they finally crossed that line, I wanted to wash my eyes out with bleach. Please don't do that. That's dangerous. Oh my goodness. Gosh, the smut and the romance was so corny. Well, yeah. I don't even know what book this is, but I can just be like, yeah, sometimes it is. Sometimes you need a funny, corny book. I just couldn't take it seriously because of the Omegaverse nonsense. Like, it's so ridiculous. I hated this book so much. I can't believe I waited over a month for this on Libby just to read this nonsense. It's so, so awful. This is the worst book I've read in my life. And I'm being so, so serious. I have never hated a book more than this. And she even cut this for length. Okay, so I think I stepped away to get water. I started choking up over this review. I'm either going to have a stroke of genius, or I fully give you permission to kindly roast me in the comments, but kindly because I'm a sensitive person. The Omegaverse, I think that's my giveaway. And I think that this is Bride. And it makes sense because the other one I thought that was Bride is also a 1 of 2. So I think I have closed the book on the Bride reviews. Ka-chow.
I think your co-host would like to make a ruling on this. Hades, what do you think? Oh, do you think it's yours truly's?
But I've given that one a 1 of 3.
Don't worry, Hades. There will be time to come back and re-review everything.
All right, this is our last, like, kind of long one. It has a list, so I might skim what has been redacted thanks to producer Brandy. Hades is trying to get on the table again. He desperately wants to continue to be in videos, and we support his dreams and his ambitions. All right, so there's 13 things on this list of, I'm guessing, why they did not enjoy this book. The first, I think, is going to be my biggest hint, and it says a wannabe mystery thriller with poor execution. Highly underwhelming, incredibly boring. They didn't like the main male character, but they didn't hate him. They didn't mind the characters, but they didn't like the world building. The romance was lame and had zero chemistry. The cover and storyline were giving fanfic, Wattpad. They didn't like the writing. They were upset that it was basically a slow burn. The male main character can't be with the female main character despite knowing she's his mate. We are enemies, not meant to be together, with eye emojis. Hardly any memorable swoon-worthy moments. Okay, so we've run into, I'm looking at producer Brandy. She's like just off screen. We have our first conflict because I thought I had closed the door on Bride, and this is definitely Bride because of the mate comment. I'm convinced. Okay, so I have 3 in front of one that should only have 2.
Are they all one of twos? Are there any ways to rule them out of that
They
list?
are all one of 2s. Panic.
Which ones do you feel strongest on, or I guess which one, and then maybe set that one down?
I think this purple one is the one that led me astray. And I think I even said when I set it down that it could be Temple of Swoon. And so I'm going to move that one to Temple of Swoon.
Which comment was that one?
Number 20. What a dumpster fire of a book.
Dumpster fire, thank you.
So we should now theoretically have no more Bride and no more Temple of Swoon reviews. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong again. Isn't this fun? I wanted to follow that up with the tiniest one that I think there is. There might be another tiny one in here. This one is so hilarious. This is a 5-star review of this 1-star review. This says, sending hate from Ohio, with a little heart emoji. I kind of want this on a t-shirt, I think. Brandy, would you wear this t-shirt?
I would happily wear that t-shirt.
Let's do it.
I also hope you love that comment. I knew it would like really draw you to a book. You would be able to just feel which one it went
Yes,
to.
yes. I can.
All right, Mackenzie. Double points if you get it right on your first guess.
Triple points?
Maybe.
Because all I have is hate from Ohio.
I don't think scream one book.
I don't think any of these books take place in Ohio.
This one.
I thought Ohio was for lovers.
No, that's Virginia.
Dang it. Hate from Ohio. It's one of 3. Okay, that can help me. And I've closed off 2.
Never rule them out, though. You never know. Like Bride, you did have to come back.
Is this a warning? Are we going to like jump forward to when I get the results of how accurate I was? And I'm just panicked. They're all wrong. They're all wrong.
I'll let you know that at least one is right up there.
Yes. I think my gut is telling me our other Allie Hazelwood. Check and mate. I'm going to put this on top of the book because that's hilarious. All right. Are you guys ready for this one? In all caps, it starts with, nope. I can't anymore. I refuse to go on. Boy is this. I promise I can read. Boy, is this the complete opposite of Redacted. That book was awesome. This book stinks. I did sub out a bad word for stinks. The idea is great, but the delivery was poor. The character was annoying, and once I got to the redacted part, I had enough. Redacted. Yeah, I'm done. Ellipses. I think I should turn this into dramatic 1-star readings by Mackenzie. I'm having a good time with this. I'm going to put this in my little pile of, I haven't assigned my Rebecca ones yet, but if I had to guess, you know what? I'm going to assign this one. This one is going to go to Onyx Storm because I think maybe someone enjoyed maybe the first 1 and 2, and then they had to wait, I think it was like 2 years for this third one. And I've been talking to some of my other friends who have read these books as well, but they read them as they were released. And they have very different views than I do. And I think that's because I listened to them, 1, and then 2, I listened to them right after each other. So I just let myself live in this world. And so I think a lot of the people who read them as they were released just lost interest by this third one, which is very interesting because there's supposed to be 5 books in the series. So we'll see if I feel the same way in 2 years when the 4th book comes out. We'll see. There's a valuable lesson to be learned here, and it's that when you see the entire Goodreads community read and 5-star the same book, you run as fast as you can in the other direction. I especially enjoyed the mediocre writing, boring love story, and the this might as well happen plot, where an allegedly frail and weak character is at the same time overpowered as F and gets everything handed to her on a silver platter. 0 stars. Brandy, you didn't tell me the 0. I mean, some book had 0 reviews, but 0 stars as an option?
It was rated 1 star.
Fair. This one, you gave me an easy one. Thank you for including the softball.
I'm so glad that it was a softball. I totally knew that when I pulled it. You know me.
If this is wrong, I will be shocked. This is going to be 4th Wing because the character does have an illness that makes her frail, but she is also very strong. And she breaks her bones like every other chapter, but she is okay. And I was fine with it. I'm just suspending my disbelief. When I read, I'm not reading textbooks to learn. I am reading to have a good time. Don't we all have that one show that, like, you don't know why you watch it because it's not good, and yet you still go to it? I'm not saying I don't like these books. I rated them 5 stars. I drank the Kool-Aid. Oh man, I wanted to like this one so much more than I did. Haven't we all been there though? I've definitely been there. I've been there this year. I enjoyed the first one well enough to read the second one, and I almost gave 2 stars because of the twist, but I just couldn't. The main character is insufferable. The formula was formulating for sure. There was a shrug emoji. I am getting a little bit nervous because I feel like I've given every book 1 so far, and 2 are not supposed to have any.
I think you have 2 up there that don't have anything right now. At least from my view, I'm fairly positive.
I'm about to put this in front of one that doesn't have any, though.
Okay. Well, then you would at least still have 1 that doesn't have any. So that might, like, give you a hint or may need to move things later.
I'm putting this as Dead Tired, the sequel to Expectant Detective. And I'd intended to put the yellow review in front of Expectant Detective, and I accidentally put it in front of Dead Tired. This author is almost always one of the best writers. That's nice. I don't know if this is going to be a compliment sandwich, but I don't think it is. But, there's the but. This story was horrible. It was uninteresting, boring, and a chore to read. It read like a writer's first attempt at a novel. Big disappointment. I'm going to have to reshuffle some of these because this tells me that this is the only review for this novel. I'm going to move the one that was in front of Cassandra Camp. I'm just going to leave that in the middle of the table right now because I don't know where I'm going to put it. And I think I'm going to put this one in front of A Scandal at Stonecliff. Terribly unlikable, unreflective, unemotional narrator who reminds me of the kind of nerd who tells the same bad joke over and over again because he can't interact with people like a real human being. Two-dimensional characters, relentlessly repeating plot structure I abandoned about halfway in. I'm going to give this person props. They didn't suffer through a book they didn't like. We can all learn that it's okay to DNF a book. And with this, I think it's going to be The Martian. Because I can feel producer Brandy going, why Mackenzie?
Speak to me.
Because producer Brandy and friends, that's one of the few books that has a solo main male character lead, and he's alone for most of the book. So there are some problems that reoccur. But he's on Mars, come on. Biggest disappointment of the year. The writing style was weird, redacted humor was only based on his main character being female, and the story was just boring. Oh, and the characters were as one-dimensional as it can get. I skipped a fair amount of pages, and I rarely do that. That's how bored and annoyed I was. I am going to put this one in front of Artemis as well, because Andy is our only male author up here right now, and his main character is a woman in this book. Okay, I feel like this video is longer than what I thought it was going to be when I thought up of this concept and asked producer Brandy to help me out. But I promise we're getting there. We have 5 more left to read, and I'm actually going to put this one over with Artemis as well for 2 reasons that are probably wrong. One, it's one of 3, and those are all one of 3, so then it would close it out, and they're all pink. So, but we only have 5 more left to read, and then Brandy's going to tell us how many we have right, or I guess how many we have wrong, and I'll get 1 chance to move things around, and then she will tell us how correct I was. If I had a shot every time there was a cringe pop culture reference, I'd be dead from alcohol poisoning before reaching chapter 5. I'm going to put that over here with Check and Mate. That will close that one out if I'm right. I should have waited. I think this one actually goes to Check and Mate. Oh, goodness. YA now stands for Yawns Anonymous, and I've never been more tempted to join a support group. LOL.
My question is, why does that make you think Check and Mate?
Because it's one of the 2 YA books that I have up here. Oh no, I guess there's Mirror as YA, but I'm secretly hoping, because I love Alex Bracken, that this one had no bad reviews.
Friendly reminder, all books had 1-star reviews. Whether or not people left comments is the issue. That doesn't say whether or not that book will have one or will not. I would just like to say they all did have 1-star reviews in case someone fact-checked us.
Oh, I guess. But in my brain,
journalistic integrity have to be there as the producer to let everyone know.
That is your job as producer Brandy.
Yes. I take it very seriously.
So I will switch out that. Oh man, where is this one going to go?
Which one are you holding?
Alcohol poisoning.
Oh, okay.
I'm holding alcohol poisoning in my hands.
I don't remember what the first one you put in front of that one was.
I don't know where to put this one.
I just knew you felt confident, so I wanted to make sure that the other one wasn't just being overlooked.
I know. I'm going to leave this one over here and I'm going to move Sending Hate from Ohio to Rebecca. But I'm not sending hate from Ohio. I'm only sending love and good vibes. Another one with 0 stars. Brandy.
Technicalities of 1-star ratings, even if they hated it that much more.
Fair. But Brandy, this one not only has 0 stars, it has negative stars. What is this BS? I was understanding of the idiosyncrasies of the first book. I can't be understanding here. What an effing joke. I'm sorry to all my Goodreads friends who liked this book. You must have infinitely more patience than I do because this book stinks. We're going to come over here to Miss Rebecca, and it doesn't fit because something's going to be wrong. But this one, I think, belongs with, yeah, this one's going to belong with one of the Rebecca piles. Second to last one. Penultimate 1-star review. Redacted. Straight up. Straight up pooped this book out of her butt. Girl, WTF did you eat? I'm repulsed. This is hilarious.
I know.
We're going to drop this in Miss Rebecca's pile as well.
I really feel like we're talking poorly about Rebecca over here today.
Apparently, the people of the internet are speaking in 1-star reviews today. And last, but certainly not least, I hope both of the main characters die. Woo! So happy. Okay, this is also going to go to Rebecca because people hate her books. So sad. But now that I have a Rebecca pile that doesn't make sense, I think I'm going to sort out, Producer Brandy, my Rebecca pile. And then I'm going to be good for you to let me know how I did.
Make sure you use your little cheat sheet.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Before Producer Brandy comes in and tallies up what I've gotten right and wrong, I'm going to make a disclaimer that I'm going to willingly go into this knowing that I've gotten at least one wrong because I should have 2 books that have nothing said about them. And I only have 1 book right now. But I don't know what to reshuffle yet. So I'm going to see how many I got wrong first. We'll check back in after Brandy lets me know how well or how poorly I did. Producer Brandy has done her calculations and she's now going to tell me, Brandy, how many reviews do I have wrong?
You and your co-host Hades need to move 7 of your reviews.
7. Okay.
I would say overall, not too bad. Some
Not
of
too
them
bad.
I think you locked in on right away. Others, maybe a little more vague, or I see where you were going, but maybe some of your books have more in common than you're thinking.
Maybe 7. I need to move 7. Part of me wants to cheat and just move around the fourth wing books, the first wing books. I am going to trust my instincts and I'm going to remove one from Candace Camp and leave these 2 as my ones that have no reviews.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not.
You're allowed to be sure. I just want to make sure.
You just want to make sure that I'm sure that I'm sure.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's what producers do.
You know, I need to find the second one for Sarah's book because I know that's right, and that is a 1 of 2. So maybe that'll be my lead. I am clearing both reviews from Temple of Swoon. And I'm going to give one to Sarah. And I'm going to move the dumpster fire to Dead Tired. Plot twist of possibly all plot twists. I am going to take away Candace Camp's 1-star review. And I'm going to hurt myself and give this to Alexandra Bracken. I don't know if that's right, but this is what we're gonna do. Okay, friends, producer Brandy, who was also a friend. I know I was so locked in with Bride, and that I think it was the first one that I closed. I'm going to move. I'm free. And I'm going to move again the 1.5 book star in front of Bride. And I'm going to give this one to A Witch's Guide. All right, Brandy, did I improve my score?
Well, Mackenzie, unfortunately, you did not.
No.
And I'm not sure if I counted wrong or we moved more than 7. But there are now 15 in the wrong place.
Oh, no. Okay. All right, Brandy. Before we end the video, can you at least tell me, did I get the 2 without reviews correct?
Well, Mackenzie, you did not. Unfortunately, the 2 without reviews were Mirror of the Beast and Dead Tired.
No.
And for those still following along, I did not forget about the double points. You did not get that either.
Dang it.
But that one, had you gotten the Hate from Ohio in the first try, would have been very impressive.
Dang it. I should have listened to myself and my gut. Alexandra Bracken, if you see this, just know I was on your side. I believed in you, and then I didn't, and I'm sorry, and I deserve to have 15 wrong because I didn't believe in you. Where was Hate from Ohio?
Hate from Ohio is for Onyx Storm.
I got it right in the end.
In the end, you did get it right.
I got Hate from Ohio right in the end.
I forget where you put it originally.
I
think you may have just given it to the wrong.
No, I had it over here somewhere. All right. We're going to be done for today. I hope you guys have great weeks. And next week, I'm super excited. Producer Brandy is going to come back and she is going to help me, and we're going to do a bracket. We're going to have a bracket of the best non-canon couples. So look forward to that. I'm really excited. I hope you're really excited too. And have a great week. Bye, guys.